I'm told that they have nice weather here, but some of us never see the light of day for about 4 days in one of these things. So for those of you that can get out, enjoy it. Looks beautiful out there. Great turnout. Excited to have everybody here. We got a really nice lineup of panelists and speakers and presenters and other good topics on the plenary, and really, I think, a really well-organized set of committee meetings, the LSO Partner Conference. So I think we kicked off yesterday with a bunch of project sessions, so on and so forth. So we're keen to have everybody here and have a very productive week. Okay, so I'm going to cover a few housekeeping items just to get going here, kick it off. As we always do, on the members wiki, you have the detailed committee meetings, and for those of you coming in virtually, the Zoom links are there as well. And all of the sessions are being recorded. They typically show up at the end of the day when Tom does his processing and so on. And those that are coming in by Zoom can chat, and we're monitoring for the plenary here. We're monitoring the chat function, so if there's any questions, just shoot them in. I'm sure most of you had a quick look at the agenda, but I'll just quickly cover it off. We had a very productive board meeting this morning. I understand that we had a really good turnout for what we used to call sort of orientation, new participant, new member orientation, and that's designed to help you kind of get up to speed on how we work and what we're doing and so on and so forth. We had additional editing sessions today. We have the plenary, and then we're going to have a poolside. I'm going to make a reminder later. We have a reception which is going to be outside starting at around 5:30 tonight. So that's cool. We'll have couple of tracks tomorrow. The DSC is going to meet. The LSO committee is not going to meet because they're going to be involved in the LSO Partner Conference. We had a very productive LSO Partner Conference for the first time in Paris back at the beginning of May, and so we're bringing this one together. A little bit of a focus on the Americas, but for the most part it's general. And then we've started our BOF sessions again. We've done those for years and years and years in most of the meetings. And for the BOF, there's always refreshments served, so it's the end of the day. We don't leave you high and dry. There's a special, smaller meeting just for some of the U.S. service providers. Some of you know that back in Denver, we had a meeting of the top U.S. service providers, including the major incumbents and the cable companies, looking at moving automation and LSO forward in the very unique U.S. market, which is different than the international space in terms of standards. So this is just a sort of a meeting of those, invitation-only type meeting. And then committee sessions on Thursday. We've done quite a bit of outreach to our LATAM members. Both some of them are based here, some of them are based in the region, and we've been pretty active lately. We're seeing really nice growth in our membership there. We're seeing a lot of interest in the automation topic and other topics. And so we're just going to have a roundtable to talk about what does MEF need to do, move things forward in the region. What should our strategy be? What when you get into different languages, your marketing becomes more complicated and so on. So we're going to be having a good brainstorming around that for an hour over lunch, and then we close up the plenary. A lot of people tend to like to use the plenary. Quite often, many of you can't make it. You're going home, but it is a very nice summary recorded of everything that went on at the committee. You can pick and choose which part of that you listen to if you don't want to. So today, once I'm done here, our chairman that was appointed chair back in the Denver meeting in July, Andrew Dugan from Lumen, we're happy to have him. Pleased him as our chair. He's going to speak to us for a few minutes. Dan's going to come in and deliver his president's report. We'll have the CTO report from Pascal. He's got some really cool stuff to talk about. And then we're going to have, keeping along with the theme here, we're going to have a LATAM-focused panel. And I'll be introducing the moderators as we go here. We'll have a hot topics roundtable. We'll have a tab-oriented, more technical discussion hosted by Pascal. And then I come back and we bring the chairs, one chair from each of the committees up, and we talk a little bit about what their focus is for their respective committee for the week. And we just kind of close that out, and then we have the reception. we've got some a nice lineup of sponsors that really help us, manage our costs at these things. Some of them are specific to the LSO Partner Conference. Others are not. They're reception sponsors, break sponsors. But we really, everybody knows what the inflation rate is these days, and these costs at these hotels are going up. And we love to have these guys here, giving them their visibility, and they make great contributions to MEF day after day. But we really appreciate their support at this meeting. Just a special readout on the LSO Partner Conference. Back in Paris, we did sort of dual tracks for the whole day, and there were a lot of people that wanted to kind of go back and forth between the tracks. So we're doing 2 tracks, but they're sequential. So it's sort of business in the morning, technical slash, I call it implementation. I call it technical, but it's more technical, but we call it the implementation track. And then there's a drinks reception after that. Always, quite popular at MEF meetings is making sure we have drinks receptions and things like that served. We've learned over the years a thing or two about how do you keep a crowd happy. We seem to be, settling in. We didn't know what the attendance at these things were going to look like post-COVID, Paris we were really happy with the numbers we had. We had good numbers in Denver. And these are we're sort of settling into a norm here. Of course, we might see things grow as trustfully the travel budgets might start freeing up into next year. But we have 115 companies registered, 255 people, almost 150 here in person. There's always, a little bit of some no-shows there, but we get into the 130s in attendance and also the virtual component. And as we've seen, we have a very, one of the things that's changed here over the years is the type of people contributing to MEF. Senior executives, we have IT developers, product managers, architects, the whole gamut, the diverse nature of the work that we're doing. And so there's a lot of, quite a broad representation here, and that was the plan. Now this is a work in progress here. We just signed a contract to be in Los Angeles at the in Q1, the week of the 30th, actually Marina Del Rey to be precise. And I don't want to start. I don't want to, I don't want to give it away, but there's a kind of a building in the background there for Q2. You can maybe get a sense for what we're thinking of doing there. And so we're working with a certain host sponsor that you can probably guess who that is. Now, I will say, though, that we are playing around with the dates because there's holidays in different countries in Europe. The original dates that we were looking at, which was a normal week for us, the 24th of April, is going to be a problem. We'll probably have that sorted out in the next, couple of weeks. And also, again, there's a certain city being kind of represented in the picture there with not the Seattle Space Needle, by the way, it's the CN Tower in Toronto. But yeah, we're hoping to be a wrap up in Toronto in July. And we normally do the last week, I should say, of July. But if we end up pushing the Q2 meeting a bit earlier, we're going to bring forward the meeting in July as well. That works better for the conflicts we have with IETF historically and so on. There's no slide on this, but this morning we presented a proposal, high-level proposal to the board to resume our annual major conference, which ended with MEF-19. Many of you were there, and so we are going to be doing it again. It's going to be the first week of October in 2023. We're calling it MEF-23 just as a project name. It's a new event with a new program, a new brand. There'll certainly be a big theme around automation going on with that. But yesterday we talked to the chairs, and they agreed that they would do a 2-day members meeting at the back end of that, and we've done that before. So there won't be a separate members-only meeting at all, and it'll co-locate with MEF-23 if all things. And so just hold on that. We'll get a save the date out on that in November. And we're already talking to some companies that we know want to participate. But we're excited to have that big event back again. We had a lot of fun with it over the years, and it was really a great, it's really a gathering of the extended MEF community, a much broader MEF community, which is growing. And we look at where we're going to be next year. As you'll see in a couple of different presentations with the growth rate of LSO adoption. The number of stakeholders that would want to be at that event, driven by that topic is really big. So that's what the next year looks like. We're also, and I think Nan's going to touch on this, we're seeing really interesting kind of diversification of the membership. That's been a theme you've seen over the last couple of quarters. There's a bit of a different description here. Alphanar is a smaller startup out of Saudi, and the description is a little odd, but they're involved with utility telecom stuff there. And, I'm pretty active, actually. There's a lady here, Portia, from MTN Global Connect in Dubai. I'm pretty active in the Middle East, and you can expect over the next 6 to 9 months to see the ongoing growth of membership in the region. We're having a lot of good discussions. It takes time, and certainly with travel back on track, we can accelerate that. Amdocs had left for a little while. Everybody knows who they are. They are back. Aurelian, which used to be Telia Carrier, is once they spun off, they took their own membership and their own certifications. So we're great to see them. DC Connect out of Hong Kong, very active in MEF, and they're heavily involved with our LSO work and our blockchain initiatives. Liberty Latam, which is a subsidiary. Many of you know Amir, former Verizon, our former chair. He's now CTO Liberty Latam, and so he orchestrated bringing his team and them back into MEF. So we're keen to have them, and we're onboarding them now and getting them engaged in their priority work. So that's cool. Another, there's when you look at the industry, there's a lot of interest in these automation platform players. We know who some of them are, and Lightstorm is an Indian company that is building that kind of network infrastructure automation platform. So that's the new membership. And if you fast forward another 3 months, you should see probably another 10 to 12 new member companies joining. We have analysts participating, as we sometimes do. So we're welcoming Appledore, and we'll be introducing them a little bit later. IntelliGeography and Vertical. Rosemary from Vertical is coming in remote because she's come down with an illness. But I think she's going to be coming in remotely. So we're excited to see her again. We always report on our certifications, and again, the story has been pretty clean. We continue to see good traction in MEF certification. So in the last 3 months, some of these companies have been previously certified for products or services, and some of them are new companies that certified for the first time. In fact, there are quite a few new companies for the first time. Last quarter, I think we were at 80 companies or 81, and now we're at 85. So it continues to grow. Carrier Ethernet, SD-WAN, Carrier Ethernet still is the lion's share of it. There's still a lot of interest. For some markets that are highly competitive, and the certification is an entity game. But we'll start to see, the emergence of the LSO certifications over time here as well. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Andrew, who's going to say a few welcome words. Thank you.